Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Preston, and this is my preview and prediction for this fight for Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield Jr. So basically, this fight is going to take place on Archer Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol undercard. But I'm just going to say, though, and stuff like that, this card is stacked. Like, literally, look at just, literally, Daniel Dubois. Well, hold up, the main event, Archer Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol. Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker, Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield, Carlos Adames versus Hamzat Shiraz, Virgil Ortiz versus Israel Madrimov, Joshua Buatsi versus Callum Smith, Ajit Kabayel versus, who's the dude that he's fighting? Oh yeah, Jilly Zhang, and stuff like that, because again, it's kind of hard to read because, on Instagram, it has all the photos, and stuff, and the way, from the bottom section of the photos, so it's kind of hard to see, but all of the fights are really, really good, and I am extremely excited to watching these fights. I know I have to wake up early to watching this fight because, it's on Riot or Rieta or however you pronounce the freaking name, and stuff like that, but I have to look at what time the fight is, and stuff like that, I'll probably inform you, what time the fight is, probably a little bit later and stuff like that into the video or, or whatever. It's going to be in the video, but basically, yeah, and stuff. I'm very excited about this fight. Fight card, excuse me. But back to the prediction, and stuff like that. This is going to be, again, a really, really good fight. Both fighters are boxers. It's basically going to be the athletic fighter versus the explosive boxer, and stuff like that, And Shakur Stevenson, again, he's a good fighter. I definitely do want to see, some improvements from, Shakur Stevenson with, him just moving too much and stuff. I just feel like he needs to, punch a lot more and stuff like that, and including with his movement, because he moves very, very well, but he needs to really let his hands go, because if he's just gonna fight scary, Floyd Schofield isn't gonna put up with that bullshit, and stuff like that, and he's gonna walk right through Shakur Stevenson like paper, and stuff like that, so it's just, that's the thing with Shakur Stevenson. Because he needs to let his hands go, Shakur Stevenson, move his feet around, and that's the start of what he needs to do, is that he needs to be active with his hands and mixing with his athleticism, with his footwork, and stuff like that. If he does that, and stuff like that, Shakur Stevenson shouldn't have a problem with winning this fight, because he has all the tools in his bag for him to be able to winning this fight, and stuff like that. He just needs to be active with his hands, and stuff like that. He also needs to not always react so much to getting hit, because whenever he gets hit, he'll start kind of look like he didn't like what he got hit with, or he'll just go and move around and stuff like that, and stuff, and he wouldn't want to kind of exchange, and he'll kind of be more scared. He needs to be able to take some punches from Schofield if he wants to be able to showcase what everybody thinks he is. But also what I really want to see Shakur Stevenson do in this case is that I really want to see him, I really want to see him, showcase his power. Because I feel kind of like how I said in the other video, we haven't seen how good, and stuff like that, Shakur Stevenson can punch ever since the Jamel Herring fight, and stuff like that, and that's the thing. Ever since the Jamel Herring fight, it's we haven't really fully seen of how hard he can hit. I mean, in the Oscar Valdez fight, he's shown clearly of how he can hit, but Oscar Valdez is extremely easy to hit, and it proved that against, when Oscar Valdez faced against Emmanuel Navarrete, and stuff like that, and that's the thing. But most of all, it's just, I just want to see Shakur just utilize that power, because I feel like Shakur really can utilize that power. Because if he showcases that power, I feel like it's going to be extremely difficult for Schofield to fight his own fight. But on to Floyd Schofield Jr. So basically what Floyd Schofield Jr. needs to do to winning this fight is that he just needs to utilize his footwork and utilize his explosiveness, and stuff like that, And I feel like if he can utilize his explosiveness and stuff like that, I feel like, that can be something that can be very beneficial because he is very quick. He's very powerful with his hands, and stuff like that, and kind of like what I said in, exactly in the Keyshawn Davis fight, the way how you beat Keyshawn Davis is if you give him enough power, and stuff like that, to give him respect, all he's going to do is go backwards. And that's what Floyd Schofield needs to do. And also, again, he needs to force Shakur Stevenson to going forwards, so then Schofield can go backwards, so then he can piece up Shakur Stevenson when Shakur Stevenson is going forward, and stuff like that, thinking that Shakur Stevenson, he's just going to try to think he can just go forward and try to just, out punch you and stuff like that, and just try to make you think that you're gonna miss and stuff like that. But then basically, if he can force Shakur Stevenson, kind of like what I said with the Keyshawn Davis, the exact same thing with the Keyshawn Davis fight. If he could force Shakur Stevenson to going forward and stuff like that, that is the perfect chance into piecing up Shakur Stevenson, and stuff like that, So that is one of the biggest things for him to win. But also, I feel like something that Schofield really needs to do in this fight is that he really needs to deliver them shots to the body. Because I feel like if he could deliver them shots to the body and stuff like that, I feel like that's just going to be really effective. I feel like that's something that he could slow down, Shakur. And if he could easily slow down Shakur, that is also somehow he can easily just beat Shakur. Because he could outstrike Shakur, move around. He has a one step ahead of him because he has a better gas tank than Shakur because he slowed Shakur down with body shots, and stuff like that. So that's what, that's what Floyd Schofield needs to do to winning this fight. And overall, that's what, that is my thoughts of what both these fighters need to do into defeating each other. But my final prediction for this fight, this is going to be a very tough rundown, and stuff like that, of who I think is going to, win this fight, and stuff like that. Because, overall, because the odds, I haven't looked at the odds, but I'm pretty sure that the odds are pretty close. Some odds, are in favor of Shakur Stevenson. Some odds are in favor of Floyd Schofield. But at the end of the day, I think most odds are probably in favor of Shakur Stevenson. And so I'm not saying that's related into my prediction at all. I'm not, it's not related into my prediction, and stuff like that. But this is a very tough fight between, both these fighters and stuff like that. But this is how I see this fight going, and stuff like that. The early rounds, the first 4 rounds, and stuff like that, I'm going to say, I do see it being kind of neck to neck, and stuff like that. I do see, the first, I would say the first 2 rounds and stuff like that, I would say would be in favor of Floyd Schofield, in my opinion, because I feel like, actually, no, I'm not Floyd Schofield. I feel like it's going to be in favor of Shakur Stevenson, because I feel like it's going to be a bit slow paced at first. I feel like Schofield is going to be a little bit, it's going to be a little bit slower for him to get into the fight, because, Shakur Stevenson is a very difficult fighter to figure out because he's very athletic. But honestly, though, I feel like, the second round is going to be the same thing, and stuff like that, But then I would say that, the third round, would be in favor of, of Floyd Schofield, because I feel like, he would let his hands go a little bit more, and it would just be more in favor of Floyd Schofield. But the fourth round would be in favor of Shakur Stevenson. So the early rounds, I do have it 3-1 in favor of Shakur Stevenson. But then the mid rounds and stuff like that, the mid rounds, which is going to be round 5, round 6, round 7, and round 8, and stuff like that. And then the later rounds is round 9, round 10, round 11, round 12. But anyways, round 5 and stuff like that. I do see round 5 kind of the same thing. I do see in favor of Shakur Stevenson, so it'd be 4-1 in favor of Shakur, and stuff like that. And round 6 and stuff like that. I do see it, being more competitive and stuff like that. But I do see it where Shakur is still kind of dictating it, and he's still winning, like the round and stuff like that. So I do have it being 5-1 after the 6th round, the 7th round and stuff like that. Now round 7, and stuff like that, that's where, I do see it where Floyd Schofield, is starting to, showcase how, like, good his skill set is, and stuff like that, and I do see him, like, letting his hands go. I do see him, like, catching, Shakur Stevenson, surprising Shakur Stevenson with his power, and stuff like that, making Shakur Stevenson not really exchange as much, and stuff like that, and basically, Shakur Stevenson is basically just moving around more than striking, and then basically just, like, I just do see Schofield kind of just dictating that round. I do see it kind of being a little bit back and forth, but I just do see Schofield having the better of Shakur Stevenson in that round. So after that, I do see it being 6 rounds to 2. Hold on. 5 rounds to 2 in favor of Shakur Stevenson, excuse me. Heading into the 8th round, and stuff like that, I also do see Schofield winning that round too, but I see him winning that round more convincingly, and stuff like that, because I feel like, that he's starting to gather what he needs to do. He's starting to, get respect from Shakur Stevenson, and stuff like that, and that's the thing, and I do see him winning round 8, round 9, and stuff like that, I do see it, also in favor of Schofield, and stuff like that, because I just feel like Schofield is just, he knows what he needs to do. He's starting to bag in the rounds, and stuff like that, but then, round 10, round 11, and then round 12, and stuff like, actually, I'm going to say, round 10, I'm going to say Schofield's going to win round 10, but then round 11 and round 12, I see Shakur Stevenson winning. Overall, I do have it being a tough fight, but overall, my final prediction is going to be, the favorite fighter of Shakur Stevenson, and stuff like that. And in my books, I do have Shakur Stevenson winning this fight in a close fight, but I have him winning this fight 7 rounds to 5, a comfortable 7 rounds to 5, and stuff like that, but I do see, Floyd Schofield really giving, Stevenson, I would say this is definitely going to be Stevenson's most toughest fight of his career, and it's probably going to be one of his toughest fights of his career for a long time, because Schofield is a very, very tough fighter, and stuff like that, but, it's just at the same time, though, I just feel like Shakur Stevenson's boxing skills, he does have a little bit more experience when it comes down to, fighting better fighters. But yes, but that's my overall prediction for this fight. I got, Shakur Stevenson winning this fight, by a decision. If I'm going to say like a unanimous split or majority, and stuff like that, honestly, I'm gonna say unanimous. I just feel like it's kind of hard either way to kind of pick, Schofield in this fight regardless. Like, I know Schofield is a very good fighter, but regardless, like, either way, like, just going into it, it's kind of hard to just pick him, to just make it like that tough of a fight. Like, overall, I do see it where Shakur Stevenson clearly makes it where he wins this fight, and stuff like that. But it just, like, I just see where Schofield just really, like, makes it like the toughest fight of Shakur Stevenson's career. But thank y'all for watching this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm Preston. Peace out.